Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning to you. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in Essex, in the UK. Wherever you find yourself on this fine Tuesday morning, good morning from Chatbox Productions, the home of conversation. A lovely little shout out for you this morning to highlight who's on the show this week, what on earth we'll be talking about, and the sort of fun that we'll be having on our live breakfast business chat show Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. Good morning, David. How are you doing, my friend?
Good morning, Nick. I'm doing wonderful. What a great Tuesday morning we're having already. It's an early shout out this week, but it's good to be early rather than late. So, yeah, looking forward to talking about what's coming up on this week's show.
Going to be great. Another jam-packed show. I'm not sure it's going to be as jam-packed as last week. God, we struggled to get everything in the show. I wonder how good old Jacob got on with the rest of his tour. Lots of mega feedback for last week's show. If you missed it, ladies and gents, go to chatbox.com and have a click, have a catch up, just see what all the fuss is about, what you've missed. But another awesome show coming again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We have a great lineup this week. We will come on to, I promise, we will tell you what's happening this week. Something very different. We're mixing young and old. There's a little clue in the title there, young and old this week, but it's going to be a great interview. But just a quick update on last week's show and the magnificent conversations we had with Jacob. Now, Jacob is coming on to our late night show, which we are launching on Wednesday, the 1st of September. So get that date in your diary. 8 p.m. We'll be back live in the studio. And Jake is going to spend the whole hour with us, playing a few songs, telling us about his road trip, his 51 cities in 22 days. And he's been all over the TV. I will say, I think we got him first, Nick. I think we got the first interview with Jacob. But he's been on ITV News. He's been doing lots of radio interviews. So he's certainly whipping up a storm as he's travelled around the country and hitting all 51 cities. But that tour has now ended. And I'm under good knowledge. He's now at home with his feet up, relaxing and letting his fingertips from playing that guitar relax before he comes onto the show in just over a week's time. So looking really forward to that and hearing him actually play live. Because if you watched us last week, he couldn't play live because he was in a hotel room and it was early in the morning, 8 o'clock. And he said, I don't know if I should be, strumming the guitar and singing out loud. And we kind of said, yeah, it's a good idea. So we had to do a recorded video. But next week on the late night show, it will be live. He will
free form, man, free form music, and whatever he wants to play, he'll be playing. It's brilliant. That just shows you the power of Chatbox Productions, doesn't it? Right before he was on the show, clearly no one had heard of him, and now he's on the news. He's in the media. Brilliant. I'd like to think we helped a little bit on that magical journey of his.
Certainly got to enjoy part of that magical journey. There's no doubt about that. I look forward to seeing him on the big stage. I do think he has lots of great opportunity in front of him. Such a young age, 16 years old. I think he will. I think we'll see him on our TVs. Is he the next Ollie Murs? Is he going to be big? Well, I really do keep my fingers crossed and hope so. But we'll have more of that conversation when he joins us on Wednesday the 1st from 8 p.m. in our new late night show. And Nick, we have come up with a name for it, haven't we? Are we going to let people know what we're going to be calling the late night show?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Because we'll probably mention it more than once. It's going to be definitely the late night show, but with Looby and Bell.
Yeah, Looby and Bell live on the late night show. So we're flicking the names around here. It's David and Nick. We're going to go to Looby and Bell for our late night show. And we hope you can join us and tune in. As always, we're asking you to participate, be part of the show. But what we're going to be a little bit more daring for the late night show as well. We're going to open up our digital phone lines. There is no phones, by the way. It's very kind of 1980s, 1990s. We're going to ask you if you want to come on the show, and all you've got to do is put into the chat box, love to join you live on the show, and we send you a joining link. You click and you appear here in our studio where we can ask you the questions, have the conversation. Of course, if you had a few beers or bevoirs at that time, we probably suggest, come on here when you're sober, but we value your opinions and feedback. So it'd be great to get you on here talking about anything. We're going to keep it very business related, still a lot of business talk, but we are going to kind of cross the boundaries a little bit, Nick, and dive a little bit deeper into people's backgrounds and hobbies and interests and what makes them tick, and what they enjoy, what they hate, and what's happening around the world.
Yeah, it seems to me, my friend, the recipe for chaos, which I'm very, very excited about. But it's one of those things, the sorts of conversations that you don't get enough of, right? What happens when business goes home? Okay, because it's great business, 9 to 5, etc., etc. You throw your life into that, but you've also got another side, right? What else? What else goes on in your world? What happens when you close your laptop? What happens when your commute is finished and you sit and put your feet up? What do you watch? What do you do? What do you talk about? Let's dig deep into the people behind the businesses. That's what I'm looking forward to. All of that and the chaos, of course.
Absolutely, and the chaos is important because it's what we thrive off. Nick and I, just for people that don't know, by the way, we don't plan these shows. We don't sit down, rehearse.
I think you know that, mate. I think that's pretty clear.
There's no script. We just say, do you know what? We're going to go on and we're going to talk about this, this, and this, and off we go. And we love it that way. We like the unscripted approach because anything can happen. It's one of our mottos for the show. Anything can happen, and sometimes it just does. Anyway, so that's the late night show. So do get that in your diary. Do tune in. I'm sure we'll mention it once or twice more between now and that date of the Wednesday the 1st, 8 p.m. British summertime. So if you are joining us from the USA or around the other side, Australia, New Zealand, we know we've got followers and viewers that do join us. Do make sure you schedule it in the diary for the right time to join us for 8 p.m. And then we're back on the following morning at 8 a.m. for the breakfast show as normal. The breakfast show will still continue.
Can't get enough, mate. Can't get enough of these conversations, can we? And I'm very, very excited about Thursdays. All right, this is gonna be quite different for us. This vast different in types of business, approach to business, ages of entrepreneurs. Who's on the show? Who's on the show this week, mate?
Yeah, it's a great question, Nick. Who is on the show this week? Well, we have two, and I mentioned old and young. And our first guest joining us on the show around about 8:10 in the morning is Mya Tyler. Some of you may remember we had Dominic Tyler on the show several weeks ago talking about his business, Janari Limited, which is a software development company, does a lot of CRM integrations and stuff like that. Dom's a great fan of the show as well. And Dom, if you're watching this, big shout out to you this morning. But we've got his daughter joining us. She's 13 years old. 13 years old, and she's going to join us on the show. There you go. Dom is watching. Morning, chaps. Looking forward to Thursday. Absolutely, Dom. She's 13 years old, and she's started her first business. She's built her own website. She's selling products. She's creating content, videos on YouTube, using social media. And we're going to hear more about her journey. I'm not going to give too much away, but if you're maybe into setting up your business, if you're 13, 14, 15, what an inspiration this young lady is. And if you love a little bit of makeup, then that's where her story starts. We'll hear more about that this coming Thursday morning. So 13 years old, young entrepreneur, out of the starting blocks, and certainly on her way to success.
Already flabbergasted, mate, at 13. Oh, so much to learn. Can you believe it, right? I've been in business a while. I've got so much to learn from someone who's only just started their business. Very, very excited, right? I know very little about makeup. Okay, so lots to learn there. And I want to know what kind of drives a 13-year-old to focus on business rather than all the other distractions that 13-year-olds are confronted with.
Yeah, absolutely. So do tune in 8:10 this Thursday morning for Mya's story, and we'll find out what made her start her first business, what encouraged her, what inspired her, and what's her ambitions. Where does she see that going? At 13 years old, I was quite entrepreneurial, to be fair, but did I really know what the big picture looked like? Did I know where I was going to be at 44? No, I never. But let's see if she's got an idea of what that looks like in the years to come. And then following on from Mya, we're going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, or of the age group, actually. And we've got Professor Alan Barrell joining us in the studio. Professor Alan Barrell, hope you don't mind me saying this, Professor Alan Barrell, 82 years old. started his first business at the age of 65. And he's coming on the show. And now Alan supports many other businesses, startups, organizations, helps them on their journey, organizes funding, connecting the dots is a big thing that Alan Barrell does. He has great connections into the likes of China, Japan, Poland, in all the Baltic regions as well. So really interesting story there. Why did he start his first business at 65 and still going strong today? So from 13 to 82.
It's going to be great, man. I think you and I can just sit back and let our two lovely guests chat between themselves. I think it's going to be an easy show for us. We just sit back and take it all in. What do you reckon? It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Sounds great. Absolutely. With a background like you've got there, Nick, that looks like Table Mountain in the background. You could turn your chair the other way slightly and have the view and the conversation. I mean, what more could one not want?
Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. Since I've been doing this show, it's so kind of people to let me into their virtual apartments. Yeah, very nice indeed.
Very nice indeed. So yeah, lots to come this Thursday. It's going to be a absolutely mind-boggling show. Lots of great content, lots of fantastic conversations to be happening, and I'm sure we'll talk more about the late night show, and finally, the big one that's in the pipeline. We won't give too much away yet. We're not quite ready to announce it, but we have got something huge coming this year, and we need you to help us as well. We will be talking more about that as I'm going to say the weeks unfold, but probably towards the end of this month, starting the late night show might be our big announcement night, Nick. That might be when we can shout out about it.
It's coming soon, my friend. Global conversation is required. So, it will be announced very, very soon.
Well, I think that's all we've got time for this morning, Tuesday the 24th of August, but we are back on Thursday morning, 8 a.m. with the fantastic Mya Tyler and Professor Alan Barrell. From me, David Bell.
And me, Nick Looby.
Bye-bye.
Cheerio.